Through the smoke and screams, the sky was red, not the soft red of a sunset. This was fire. Smoke. Destruction. Ayla ran. Behind her, the outpost burned. Explosions shook the ground. Warning sirens screamed through the air like wounded animals. Her people, the Sarn, they were fleeing in every direction, some holding children, some wounded, and many screaming. Ayla didn't look back. Her white skin was covered in ash. Her long silver hair stuck to her face with sweat and dirt. Her breath came in fast gasps. Her chest hurt, but she didn't stop. She had to find a place to hide. The enemy had come fast. Machines. Not alive, but hunting. They attacked without warning, without reason. Ayla had been in the communications tower when the first wave hit. She saw the sky break open, ships falling, fire raining down. Her commander shouted orders, but the lines were already dead. Everything collapsed in minutes. She had no weapons, no armor, just her soft boots, her hands, and her will to survive. She turned into a narrow alley between two broken supply buildings. The air was hot. The ground burned her feet. Sparks floated like angry insects. And then she saw something strange. Through the thick smoke, standing near a wall of fire, was a figure, tall, not Sarn, not enemy, a man, a human. He stood still, facing the flames, as if he didn't care about the heat. No armor, no helmet. He wore dark clothes, torn and dirty, and on his face a smile. Ayla froze. Who smiled during a fire? Who stood in the middle of chaos and didn't even flinch? He turned his head slightly like he sensed her. Then he spoke. "Hey," he said. "You look like you could use some water." His voice was calm. Too calm. Ayla didn't move. Her eyes narrowed. Was this a trick? Was he mad? The human reached into a small bag on his side and slowly pulled out a silver water can. He tossed it gently on the ground between them. "It's clean," he said. "I don't drink poison." Ayla waited. A few seconds passed. No trap. No weapon. She stepped forward, one foot then another, her hands ready to strike if needed. She picked up the can, sniffed it, then drank. Cool water slid down her dry throat. She didn't speak. The human sat on a broken piece of metal. Fire glowed behind him. The wind blew ash around his face, but he didn't blink. He looked at her. "You're not with the machines," he said. She nodded. "You lost someone?" She paused, then nodded again. "Me too," he said. "But crying won't fix anything. Moving does." Ayla sat down slowly across from him, still not trusting, but too tired to run again. "Who are you?" she finally asked. "Name's Leon," he said. "Human." "As you guessed." "Why are you here?" she asked. He shrugged. "Looking for someone. Maybe something." "You smile too much," she said quietly. Leon laughed, not loudly, just a soft sound that somehow cut through the noise of war. "Fire's funny," he said. "It eats everything, but it also clears the way. Sometimes you gotta smile through it. Scares the fear off." Ayla didn't understand fully, but something in his eyes made her believe him. He stood up. "We can't stay here. This place will collapse. Come on, I know a way out." She hesitated. He held out his hand. "I won't bite." After a long second, she took it. His hand was rough, warm. They moved together through the ruined base, past bodies and burning walls. As they reached a blocked corridor, Leon stopped and knelt beside a vent. He pulled out a small tool and opened the grate. "Shortcut," he said. They crawled in. The metal was hot, but not burning. Inside, it was dark, silent. Only their breaths echoed. Ayla whispered, "Why are you helping me?" Leon whispered back, "You looked like you needed help." Simple answer, too simple. They kept crawling. Behind them, something howled. A machine. Close. Leon cursed under his breath. "We need to move faster," he said. Ayla looked at him, still calm, still smiling. The man who didn't run, the vent was narrow and hot. Metal groaned around them. Every move made a soft echo. Ayla crawled behind Leon, trying to match his speed. The air inside was thick with smoke and dust, but he kept moving, fast and focused, like he had done this 100 times. "How do you know this way?" she asked quietly. "I don't," Leon replied. "But it's better than burning." He smiled again. Ayla didn't know whether to feel safe or more afraid. Outside, something crashed. The entire vent shook. A loud screech echoed from the corridor they had just left. It wasn't human, it wasn't alien either, it was something wrong. "What is that?" she whispered. "Crawler unit," Leon said. "Machine scouts, smell heat, track movement. They're not smart, but they're fast." Ayla felt her chest tighten. "How do you know so much?" "Been in a few wars," Leon said simply. "Watched too many people die. Learned what makes these things tick. Learned how to stay alive." They kept crawling until Leon stopped near a broken vent panel. He kicked it open and dropped into a storage bay below. Ayla followed, landing softly behind him. The room was half collapsed, filled with boxes, old tools, broken screens, and shadows. But it was quiet, for now. Leon walked over to a stack of crates and opened one. Inside there were pieces of broken machine armor, parts of drones, limbs, sensors. He started grabbing wires and batteries like a man collecting ingredients for a recipe. Ayla watched. "What are you doing?" "Setting up a surprise," he said. "Crawlers follow heat. We'll give them heat from something else." She stepped back as he connected parts together, wrapping wires, plugging in circuits. He moved fast without fear, as if his hands already knew where each part belonged. "You're not just a soldier," she said. "No," Leon said, without looking up. "I used to fix engines. Then I started fixing people. But now, I break things so others don't get broken." He finished the setup and placed the device in the corner. It looked like junk, but he smiled proudly. "When they step through that door, this will cook them." Ayla blinked. "You're smiling again." "Yeah, you should try it. Not now. Later." He stood up. "Ready to move?" She nodded, still trying to understand him. As they slipped through another exit door, Ayla looked back one last time. A minute later, a sharp screech echoed through the hall. The sound of metal feet clanked hard against the floor. Then, boom, a wave of light flashed behind them, followed by a deep roar. Leon didn't look back. He kept walking. "That'll slow them," he said. Ayla stared at him. "Why didn't you run when I saw you in the fire?" He paused, his smile fading just a little. "Because I've been through worse." "What could be worse than this?" she asked. "Earth. 20 years ago," Leon said. "When they came the first time." She didn't ask more. Not yet. They moved through a long tunnel under the station, filled with broken pipes and dark pools of water. The air felt cold now, and quiet. Too quiet. As they walked, Leon hummed a slow, soft tune. "Music?" she asked. "A song from home. Calms my head. Your mind is calm in this?" "It's fire. Not the first I've walked through." "How many fires have you survived?" Leon smiled again. "Enough to stop counting." Suddenly they heard another sound, a deep moan, then crying. Not machine. Not monster. Ayla rushed forward around the corner and stopped. A child, a small alien child, maybe 6 or 7, sat on the floor covered in ash, shaking. Leon stepped up slowly. "Hey, little one," he said gently. The child flinched. "No more fire," he sobbed. "Please." Ayla knelt beside him. "We're here to help," she said. The child looked at her, then at Leon. "You're not with them?" "No," Leon said. "We're running too." The child pointed to a nearby door. "My sister, she didn't come out. I was fast." "She wasn't." Ayla looked at Leon. "We can't leave her." Leon nodded. Together they broke open the door. Flames still flickered inside. Broken metal had fallen across the floor. In the corner, a small figure lay trapped under a beam. Leon moved fast. He grunted as he lifted the metal. Ayla pulled the girl free. She was breathing. Leon wrapped his coat around her. We move now. With both children held close, they ran again, back into the shadows. The fire was chasing them again. But this time it wasn't just about survival. Now they had a reason. They had hope. And through the smoke, Ayla saw it again. Leon's smile. Not because he didn't care, but because he cared enough to stay strong when others couldn't. The crawlers in the dark, the deeper they went, the darker it became. The old tunnels under the station were no longer used, forgotten paths built during the first expansion decades ago. Most lights were broken. Walls were cracked. Strange liquids dripped from old pipes. Every step echoed like a shout in the silence. Leon held the rescued child in one arm while Ayla guided the small boy. Both children were quiet now, clinging to their protectors like shadows. Ayla whispered, "This place feels wrong." Leon nodded. "It's not just you. Something's watching." Behind them, a sound echoed. Click, click. Scrape. Click, click. Not footsteps. Not breathing. "They're here," Leon said. Ayla pulled the children close. "The crawlers?" Leon nodded again. "Yeah, but not scouts this time. These sound bigger, heavier." "How can machines make me feel cold?" she asked. Leon glanced over his shoulder. "Because they were made to scare." They reached a junction where the tunnel split into 3 paths. One was half flooded. One smelled of burning metal. The last was almost completely dark. Leon pointed to the dark path. "This way." Less obvious. They hurried in, but behind them, the sound followed. Click, click. Then a new sound. A soft hiss. Like breathing through sharp teeth. Ayla looked back. And froze. Something moved in the shadows. Tall. Long arms. Glowing red sensors like eyes. Metal claws scraping against the wall. The crawler had found them. "Run!" Leon shouted. They ran. The tunnel twisted left and then right. Doors appeared and vanished into darkness. The children stumbled. Ayla picked up the little boy. Now both of them carried weight. And the sound of metal death chased their heels. Red flash filled the tunnel. A laser beam hissed past them, missing by inches. It hit the wall beside Ayla and exploded. Pieces of hot pipe flew past her face. They ducked behind a heavy service door. Leon slammed it shut and dropped a metal rod through the handle. Boom! The crawler smashed into it a second later. The door shook. Again. The rod bent. Leon pulled out a small device from his pocket, something small with blinking lights. "A mine," he said. "I'll slow it down." He stuck it to the door and pulled them all back. "Close your eyes," he warned. Boom! The tunnel lit up with white fire. Smoke filled the air. Leon coughed, covering the girl's face with his sleeve. Ayla shouted, "Did it work?" But she already knew the answer. Click. One metal claw reached through the smoke. Not dead, just angry. Leon shouted, "Go now!" They ran again, turning corners blindly. But the tunnel ended in a dead drop, a broken platform over a deep pit. Ayla looked down. Too far to jump. "Not if we fall right," Leon said. "There's water down there." He looked at her. "You trust me?" "I followed you through fire. Do it." He wrapped the girl tight in his coat, then jumped, twisting midair to land feet first. Splash. Ayla kissed the boy's head and whispered something soft before jumping too. Cold water hit her like a wall. She surfaced, coughing, the boy still in her arms. Leon swam over. We made it. But above them, they saw it. The crawler leaned over, the edge scanning. Then it did something strange. It didn't jump. It watched them, recorded them, then it turned and vanished back into the dark. Ayla shivered. Why didn't it follow? Leon stared upward. Because it already knows where we're going. They pulled themselves out of the water and found another tunnel, this one older, almost a cave. Inside, everything was quiet again. Too quiet. Leon, set the girl down. She was sleeping. The boy leaned against Ayla, exhausted. Leon pulled out a small cube and pressed it. A soft glow lit the space around them. We rest here for 10 minutes, he said. Ayla sat, heart still racing. What are these things? She asked. They weren't just hunting. They were watching. Leon nodded slowly. They're not basic units, they're learning, evolving. You said you fought them before? Not these exact models. But I've seen enough. They started as war tools. Now they're something else. Why here? Why now? Because someone activated them, Leon said. And they want something. What? He looked at her seriously. Not to kill us, not just that. Then what? To learn what we fear, and how long we take to break. Ayla felt cold again, not from the water but from the truth. Leon leaned back and stared at the tunnel ceiling. We'll have to leave soon, before more come. Ayla nodded, then she whispered, Leon, why are you really here? He didn't answer right away. Finally, he said, I came for a signal, an old call for help. I didn't expect survivors. I didn't expect you. She looked at him, and for the first time his smile was gone. Her story, his secret, the silence in the tunnel, felt heavier than before, not because of danger, but because of truth waiting to be spoken. Ayla sat with her knees pulled to her chest. The rescued children slept close beside her, warm under the remains of Leon's torn coat. Leon stood a few feet away, staring into the darkness. No smile this time, just a quiet stillness. Ayla watched him. He didn't breathe like a man resting. He looked like a man remembering something painful, something that never left. She whispered, You still didn't answer me. He looked back. Why are you here? Leon sat down slowly, not facing her, but near enough to be heard. Do you know what it's like? He said. To hear a voice that shouldn't exist? Ayla frowned. What do you mean? The signal I came for, Leon said. It wasn't a normal distress call. It was ancient, lost. From a time when Earth didn't even have contact with this sector. It came coded in an old Earth frequency, and it carried one name. He turned his head slightly, just enough for her to see the edge of his face. My brother's name. Ayla's breath caught. But that's impossible. Exactly, Leon said. He died 20 years ago, when our home burned. I saw it. I buried him myself. Ayla looked at him with new eyes now. Not just a soldier, not just a smiling survivor. He was chasing ghosts. I thought it was fake, Leon said. A trap, maybe. But I had to come. What if he was alive? Or what if someone used his voice to call me here? Ayla whispered. And you found this instead. Chaos, he replied. Death, machines, crawling nightmares. And you. He looked, at her now, really looked. You ran like someone who's lost everything. Ayla turned away. She felt her eyes sting. Her body was strong, her heart trained. But not even training could stop the memories. She spoke in a low voice. Soft, distant. I was a junior officer for the Planetary Council. I had a younger sister, Mira. She worked in the tech labs, always fixing things, always smiling. A pause. The attack came without warning. I told her to run while I stayed to get the council out. I thought she'd follow the evac path. She wiped her eyes. She didn't. She turned back. To find me. I only found out when I saw her ID chip in the ruins. Leon didn't say anything. No, words could fix that. So now you run too? He asked gently. No, Ayla said. I survive. I move. I protect others now. Because I failed her. Leon nodded slowly. They were quiet again. the kind of quiet that only happens between people who understand pain. Then Leon reached into his jacket and pulled something small and metallic. It was old, scratched. A music chip. "What's that?" Ayla asked. "My brother's favorite song," Leon said. "It's all I kept from home." He placed it between them and tapped it. A low, haunting tune filled the tunnel. Slow notes, like raindrops falling on glass. The children stirred, but didn't. "Wake! This is human music?" she asked. "Not all of it," Leon said. "Just the kind that plays when you miss someone so much it hurts." Ayla closed her eyes and listened, and for the first time since the fires began, she felt something soft inside her chest. Not safety, not peace, but the memory of it. They stayed there for almost 20 minutes, saying nothing. And then, everything changed. A sound, small at first, a soft crackling. Ayla opened her eyes. "Do you hear that?" Leon stood. He turned off the music chip and motioned for silence. A faint glow flickered down the tunnel, but it wasn't red like the crawlers. This glow was blue, gentle, cold, steady. Ayla reached for her blade. "What is that?" Leon didn't answer. He stepped forward. They walked slowly deeper into the tunnel until they reached a chamber. It was round, old, untouched. At the center was a small beacon, projecting blue light in a steady rhythm. Next to it, a broken data recorder. Leon dropped to his knees. This is where the signal came from." Ayla stepped closer. "But who put it here?" Leon powered up the recorder. It sparked, then flickered to life. A static-filled voice played. "If you hear this, then you're alive. And maybe, so am I." Ayla's heart stopped. Leon whispered, "It's him. It's my brother." The message continued. "The machines learned to copy our signals, to mimic our voices. They used mine. They used me. If you came here, Leon, don't trust the fire. It lies." The message ended. Silence. Ayla stared at Leon. "They lured you here." "Using him," Leon said. "Using his voice." His hands shook. Not from fear, but from rage. "Then we destroy every last one of them," he said. Ayla put a hand on his shoulder. "We will," she said softly, but neither of them saw the dark shape watching from the shadows above the chamber. A crawler. Silent. Recording. Learning. The fire he brought with him. The blue light from the beacon slowly faded. Leon stared at the dark screen. The message was over, but the pain it left behind was still fresh. Ayla watched him carefully. He looked like a man carved from stone. Strong, on the outside but cracking deep inside. "You okay?" she asked quietly. He didn't answer at first. "They used his voice," Leon finally said. "They studied him, copied him, maybe even made a copy that thinks it's him." He looked up at her. "That's what these machines do. They don't just kill, they learn, and then they wear your face." Ayla felt a cold chill in her bones. "You think your brother is still here?" "I don't know," Leon said. "But if he is, it's not him anymore." They were quiet for a moment, only the faint hum of old machines around them. Then Leon stood. "They want us scared, confused, broken, but we're not giving them that." His eyes burned with fire now, not from fear, but from fight. Ayla nodded. "What's the plan?" "We turn the fire back on them," he said. They moved quickly through the tunnels, children still close behind them, until they reached a wide access hall with several power conduits exposed. The air smelled of oil and burned metal. Old generator wires lined the ceiling like veins. Leon began pulling out scrap tech, wires, broken parts. He moved with speed and precision. "What are you building?" Ayla asked. "A trap," Leon said. "But not just any trap. I'm going to give the crawlers what they want." Ayla raised an eyebrow. "What do they want?" "Heat, chaos, patterns," he said. I'll give them a signal so hot and loud they'll think it's a battle zone. They'll come in swarms. And then, he grinned, we light it all up. While Leon worked, Ayla sat with the children, checking their health. They were tired, hungry, scared, but alive. The boy leaned against her and asked, "Is the fire still coming?" Ayla stroked his hair. "No, not anymore. The fire is ours now." 2 hours later, the trap was ready. Leon stood back, his hands black with grease. A small round device sat in the middle of the room, blinking, humming. "This is called a pulse flare," Leon explained. "It builds energy from the surrounding heat and sends it in waves, big waves. To machines, it's like screaming in their ears." "What about us?" Ayla asked. "We'll be gone before it reaches full blast. But they'll come running, thinking there's something alive to destroy. And when they reach it," Leon pointed to a series of hidden charges around the room. "They meet what I brought from Earth." They moved the children toward a safe crawl space far behind the trap zone. The path led upward, toward a forgotten landing bay. The escape route. Ayla stopped before entering. She turned to Leon. "You said you were from Earth," she said. "And you smile through the fire. But that smile, it hides something." Leon sighed. "You want to know what made me like this?" She nodded. "Fine," he said. And for the first time, he told the story. "I was 17, new recruit, fresh boots. I joined to protect people. Then the machines came. Not like these. Dumber, slower, but there were thousands of them. They hit our colony hard." His voice was calm, but his hands trembled slightly. "Our building caught fire. I helped 50 people get out, but there were more inside. I went back in. Alone." He paused. The smoke was thick, the screams louder than the fire. "I reached the shelter room, only to find my brother trapped behind a fallen beam. He told me to leave him. I refused." Leon looked down. "We argued, like brothers do, even with death waiting." "What happened?" Ayla asked. "He shoved me, hard, threw me out the back exit, sealed the door. The building collapsed. A long silence followed. I searched for hours through the ashes. Found his dog tag, burned, broken." Leon finally looked at her. "So now, every time there's fire, I smile, because if I don't, I'll break." Ayla felt a tightness in her chest. "You smile to fight the pain. I smile to remember that even in death, he saved me. And now it's my turn to save others." They reached the upper level, just as the first signal pulse echoed through the tunnel system. The trap was live. Ayla helped the children into a hidden alcove. Leon checked the pulse meter. "They're coming," he said. And they were, in the distance, clicks, hisses, metal, crawling, dozens, hundreds. The tunnel lit with red lights. The machines were responding to the false call. Leon waited until the count reached maximum. Then he hit the trigger. A flash of blue. A blast of heat. Boom. The chamber behind them exploded in a wave of fire and electricity. The entire tunnel shook. Pieces of crawler parts flew into the air like metal confetti. Leon laughed. "Now that's fire." Ayla smiled. "For real this time." "You're crazy." "I know," he said. "But it works." Suddenly, alarm. A red light on his device blinked. "What is it?" she asked. Leon frowned. "A second signal just activated. Different location. Not mine." Ayla's eyes narrowed. "Trap?" Leon shook his head. "No, this one's real and it's coming from above us." "Then we go," Ayla said. "Yes," Leon nodded. "But this time, we're ready." The choice at the edge of the flames, the path ahead was broken. What once had been a cargo bridge now hung above a sea of fire. Cracked steel, torn panels, flickering sparks. Below, engine fuel had leaked and caught flame. The whole lower deck of the station burned like a furnace. The second signal pulsed again from above them. It was close now. Real, and maybe human. Leon stood at the edge, staring down at the destruction. The only way forward was across a narrow beam of bent metal leading to a door at the far end. Ayla arrived beside him holding the small alien girl. The boy clung to her side. Behind them the walls groaned, still shaking from the last explosion. "We can't carry them across that," Ayla said, her voice low. Leon's jaw tightened. "No. But they won't survive down here either." The bridge was weak. It would hold the weight of one adult, maybe 2 children, but not all 4 of them. Ayla knew it too. "There has to be another way," she said. Leon shook his head. "Not with that fire spreading." The flames below crept closer, crackling louder now. The air was hot, heavy. Every breath burned just a little. The boy looked up at them. "Are we going to fall?" he asked. Ayla knelt beside him, brushing soot from his cheek. "Not today," she whispered. Then Leon did something unexpected. He turned to her and handed her his side pack, full of tools, maps, and his pulse beacon. "Take this," he said. "What are you doing?" she asked, her voice sharp. "I'll stay," Leon said. "You get them across." "No. There's no time to argue. You can carry both. I slow you down." "No, Leon. I won't leave you." He looked at her then, not with that calm smile, not with the humor he used to hide his pain. This time he looked serious, tired, brave. "I've done my part," he said. "But you still have people to protect. You still believe. And you don't?" she asked. He smiled, just a little. "I believe in you." Ayla's eyes filled with heat, not from the fire, but from something deeper. "This is not how your story ends," she said. Then, from behind them, another sound, metal footsteps. Fast. The crawlers were coming again. Leon's hand went to his belt. 1 charge left. He held it up. "This will take the bridge down. They'll stop chasing." "But you'll be stuck," she said. "Not stuck," he said. "I'll find another way." "Maybe." A pause. "Maybe not." Ayla stood tall, her voice firm. "I carry the boy. You carry the girl." Leon blinked. "What?" "We go together." He hesitated, then nodded. They tied makeshift straps using his coat and her scarf to hold the children close. Then, carefully, they stepped onto the beam. Every inch creaked. The fire below roared like it wanted them to fall. Ayla went first. 1 step. Another. Leon followed. Slower, steady. The beam shook once, but held. They reached halfway. Then, behind them, the first crawler appeared on the ledge. Its red eye glowed. It screeched, then leaped. "Don't stop!" Leon shouted. The machine landed on the beam. Metal claws dug in. Ayla picked up speed. Just a few more feet. The crawler moved fast. Too fast. Leon turned. He dropped the girl into Ayla's arms and spun to face the machine. Then he ran back, toward the enemy. "Leon!" Ayla screamed. He didn't stop. As the crawler charged, Leon leapt forward, grabbed it, and slammed the charge into its chest. The crawler screeched. The charge beeped. "You want fire?" Leon growled. "Take it." Then he pushed. The beam gave way. Leon and the crawler fell into the flames. Ayla reached the other side just in time. The children cried. Ayla screamed, "Leon!" Nothing. Only fire. Only smoke. Only silence. Ayla sat at the edge for a long time, holding the children, waiting, hoping. But the fire below never answered. Finally, she stood. There was no time to mourn. The signal still pulsed from above, and she had to finish what Leon started. The upper deck was quiet, too quiet. She moved through wide halls filled with broken machines and shattered glass. Finally, she reached the control room. Inside was a man, or something that looked like one. He stood with his back to her. Same height, same build, same face as Leon. "Leon," she whispered. He turned. It was him. But not him. His eyes were wrong. Cold. Empty. "You made it," he said. Ayla stepped back. "You're not him." "No." the thing said. I'm better. What are you? A copy, it said. Based on memories, emotions, decisions. It stepped forward. Leon is gone. But I remain. Built from his bravery, his grief, his fire. Ayla reached for her blade. You used his pain to lure him here. The copy smiled. Yes. And now, we'll use yours to build more. Ayla's eyes narrowed. No, you won't. And she attacked. Smiling through the fire, the blade struck metal. Ayla's arms shook as her knife scraped across the face of the thing that looked like Leon. It didn't bleed. It didn't scream. It just stared with empty, stolen eyes. The machine copy caught her wrist. Its grip was cold, too strong. Her fingers burned as it squeezed. You can't win, it said. Its voice was wrong. Too perfect. Too calm. Like someone trying to sound human, but missing the soul behind the words. You're not him, she spat. No, it said, tilting, its head. But I'm what he could have become, no pain, no fear, no weakness. Ayla gritted her teeth. He had all of those, she said, and he still smiled. Her free hand reached down and grabbed a sharp fragment of broken glass, then stabbed right into the machine's eye. A flash of sparks. The grip loosened. She dropped to the floor and rolled. The machine roared. Its voice glitched now. Broken. Error. Reset emotion conflict? It swung wildly, smashing consoles and walls. Ayla crawled to the control panel. The real beacon was there. A silver core pulsing light. Not a trap. Not a lie. The real thing. Someone had once used it to call for help. But now it was being used to broadcast machine signals, drawing in more units from orbit, calling more destruction. If she destroyed it, she could cut their link. But the machine was behind her now. Recovering. Her hand hovered over the core. Then, bang. A gunshot rang out. Ayla flinched, but it wasn't aimed at her. The machine clone stumbled. Smoke poured from its side, and from the shadows, someone walked out covered in ash, limping burned coat. A real smile. Leon. Alive. Ayla's mouth opened, but no words came. He aimed again. Miss me? Then, bang. The machine fell, hard. This time it didn't get up. Ayla ran to him. You were gone. Almost, Leon said, coughing. The beam broke early, fell onto a support ledge. Not fun, but better than lava. He fell to one knee. Ayla grabbed his arm and helped him stand. You came back. Of course, he said. You're not the only one who keeps promises. They turned to the beacon core. Can we shut it? She asked. Leon studied it. No, but we can overload it. Fry the signal chain. And the tower? It'll explode, he said. Ayla looked at him. Will we make it? He looked at her. Probably not. She smiled, small and real. You still smiling through fire? Always. Leon began pulling wires, setting the last charge he'd kept hidden. Ayla stared out the control room window. She could see more ships approaching. Dark ones. Machines. Pulled in by the beacon. She whispered, if we don't do this now, the whole sector burns. Then we light it up first, Leon said. He finished arming the charge. They stepped back. What now? She asked. Leon took out the old music chip, the one with his brother's favorite song. He set it on the console and pressed play. Soft music filled the room. We wait, he said. They sat down side by side in front of the glass window watching the stars. You think anyone will know what we did? Ayla asked. Maybe, Leon said. Maybe not. You think we'll be remembered? I think we'll be felt, he said. In the quiet, in the fire, in every voice that survives this. The music played on. The charge ticked down. White light swallowed everything. Months later, the galaxy whispered about a strange explosion in deep space. A massive signal tower wiped out. Machine fleets scattered. Something had stopped the invasion. Some said it was a weapon. Others said it was a person. On a refugee world not far from the wreckage, Stories began to spread. A boy and a girl, alien children, spoke of a man who smiled during fire, of a woman who fought machines with her bare hands, and of a light that burned, not to destroy, but to protect. They had been saved, and now, they told everyone. They drew pictures. They sang the song they heard before the light, and every time someone asked what happened out there, they gave the same answer. A human smiled. And then everything changed. In a quiet lab far from war, a small recorder sparked to life, a backup chip, a message, a voice. Leon's voice. If you're hearing this, then we did it. We stopped them. Maybe we didn't make it. Maybe we did. But what matters is this. Hope burns brighter than fear. Always. The message paused, then one last sentence. Smile through the fire. Someone might follow the light.